everything gets public. There's still a few things that y'all don't know, believe it or not. But people throw things out there, and again, it's something for people to talk about, write about, create conversation, all that kind of stuff. But that's really it.
So Vanderbilt hasn't asked you guys for permission?
And again, I can't remember who asked me that yesterday. Will trying to text me yesterday, and I told Will the same thing. I was like, you know what, I'm not going to get into if people when it's a story is when there's something to tell you. It's just otherwise. Oh yeah, well this guy called about this guy and this guy. That's not worth having conversations about. Bottom line is if there's anything ever to talk about, y'all will know about it. But for me to sit here and have to respond every time somebody puts out on an internet site that such and such has talked to this person or that person because he said, she said, the guy in the third stall down in the bathroom heard this and heard that, that I don't have time for that, and it's exhausting. So all I can tell you is we got a great staff. They're all here. I expect everybody to be back, and if somebody has an opportunity to better their situation, then you understand that and you support that, and you reload. Change is not bad. When you have good people and you lose good people, you bring other people in. When you have a great player like Taj Boyd and he's moving on, you bring in a guy like Deshaun Watson in your program, and you got guys that you've been developing within the program. Cole Stout, a Chad Kelly. So that's just the way it is in anything that you do. I mean, we've lost some pretty good reporters, and hey, we've had to replace them. You stepped up. So hey, I mean, he's been about a year now. I mean, that's the way it is. I'm sure down at the Post and Courier they didn't know what they were going to do when our man Salchik jumped ship. How are we going to replace Salchik? I mean, he's going up there and made the Pirates a winner. He took all the credit for Clemson winning. Now that's out. That theory's dead. We've put an end to that. So, it's the same way in our business: coaching, playing, reporting. Somebody will step in and do a great job.
Yeah, but with all the things you liked about this year's team, what was an area where you thought, we need to get better in this, and that's what we're going to work on?
Well, we improved in the areas that we really needed to get better in this year. Obviously we had to make great improvement defensively, and I don't even know if great improvement is the correct word. I mean, extraordinary improvement is probably more fair for the type of improvement that we made defensively. And we were still very good offensively, and I knew we would be very good offensively. We were a little different in some areas. We didn't have Ellington, so there was a little bit of a transition there. We didn't have as deep a pool at running back as we hoped to because injuries. Zach Brooks had a hard time staying healthy, had some deals, and DJ got a little banged up here and there. Hot Rod was money. He was solid all year long. But Tyshawn Dye, who we really felt like was going to really help us this year, got hurt in camp. So we were a little different. J.J. McCullough, a developing guy that really not quite ready for the role we wanted him to have, but made progress throughout the year. Maybe y'all didn't really quite see a lot of the progress on the game field, but we've seen it. And so we were still really good offensively, obviously, and did a lot of great things and played to our strengths. But I want to see us, really. Run the football, and we ran the ball. We ran the ball very well. I mean, we ran the ball well against Ohio State, who was top 10 rushing defense in the country. We ran the ball well against South Carolina in our last game. We just, we were creative in how we did some things. But I think we're going to have a chance to be pretty special in our backfield, and I could see a little bit of. A shift in that direction, if you will. But we'll see once we get going. But, we are who we are. We do what we do. I think that you will continue to see the quarterback to be a big factor for us. I just believe that, when your quarterback's not a threat to run the ball, then they're really playing 11 on 10, really. But the quarterback is a great equalizer, and it really stresses the defense. Puts a lot of pressure on the defense in a lot of ways, and so that element is got to I think, even improve from where we've been, and I think it will as we continue to move forward. But you know, defensively, very, very proud of what we got done. Yes, we still got some things to improve, but you're talking about a team that led the nation in tackles for loss, a team that was second in the nation in 3-and-outs defense. That's pretty doggone good. And you know, we were top 25 in just about everything. I think there was only just 2 or 3 teams out there that finished in the top 25, scoring offense, scoring defense, total offense, total defense. Maybe us, Florida State, Baylor. I don't know if anybody else. Us and Florida State. You know, so it's hard to you know, really be nitpicky, but there's obviously some things that we got to get better at. I love the way our front. Y'all all thought I was crazy back in the fall when I told you our front seven's going to be really good. And even though nobody knew anybody's name, now everybody knows who Grady Jarrett is. Everybody knows who Corey Crawford is. Everybody knows who Vic Beasley is. I mean, there's some guys, you know, a young Shaq Lawson emerging. So our front seven was impressive, and we got, you know, most of those guys back. Our secondary improved, still not where we need it to be, but improved greatly. We knew we were going to have to develop some guys at safety, and we knew we were going to take some lumps at safety. But I think everybody can get excited about the future that we have at that position. You know, those guys are going to get better. J-Ron Curses, the Jadar Johnsons, Go Hagans. I mean, we got some really good young talent that is emerging. I love that we've got Martin Jenkins back, and he played with one arm all year, but we got some things out of him, and so we got him back. We got Gary Peters back. Give us a couple of veteran guys out there at corner, and then we redshirted 4 corners. So I like our personnel, and it's going to be an exciting time. Offensively, we're losing a couple of really good linemen. So the fact that Battle was able to emerge this year, Shaq Anthony started to come on. We got a couple of guys like a Joe Gore, a Mac Lane, that this is a huge year for them. You know, I feel good about Guillermo, feel good about a young Crowder. I feel good about, you know, Ryan Norton and Kalen and Beasley. We've got a lot of good pieces, but sorting all of that out is you know, what we have to do, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see them go and compete. But, you know, getting better, you know, we've got to, if there was one thing, it's, you know, and y'all hear me say it all the time, we got to cut that turnovers down. And if you look at the national championship teams and what they had, and it's something that we'll do as we self-evaluate, you know, that I just honestly kept us from getting to Pasadena. I mean, you know, 2 losses, you had 10 turnovers against the #1 team and the #4 team. You don't win games. You don't even have a chance to win those games. You know, who knows if we win it? But you really don't have a chance when you're not doing a good job of taking care of the ball. So we've got to take another step there next year, and you know, there's a lot of things that go into that, but that's why we practice. Yeah, Carlos is good. You know, Carlos is ready to go, and you know, I'm excited about getting him back in the fold. The fact that he's going to be a sophomore again. Same thing with Kevin Dodd. Those are 2 really, really good, talented young players that will be sophomores. And then you know, Kellen Jones is an exciting talent, and he's one of those guys. Had he not got hurt, you could just see him kind of emerging. And we were actually using him in some of our sub packages and stuff. And then obviously he was out for the rest of the year, but we'll get him back. We'll get Sharon back. Both those guys are doing great. It probably will not be full speed in spring. Probably could be, but we're not. They'll go through spring, but we won't have probably any live work with those guys. It's really no. It's not like there's a scoreboard that's counting, and so we'll put them through all the drill work and all of that kind of stuff. Really take the spring to just get them back acclimated in the flow of things and confidence and all that kind of stuff. But as far as them going live, I don't see that this spring. There's really, you know, really no need for that. We want them to get out there and compete, and so they'll probably be in green jerseys the majority of the spring. The first week or so, they may not do anything, maybe in yellow and just do all the individual stuff. And then after we get back from spring break, you know, we hope that they'll at least be in green jerseys, doing everything but no contact.
Would you consider moving Norton to a guard spot to get Guillermo on the field, or is that going to be a 2-man competition?
No, or vice versa. You know, either one of those guys can play guard for us. I mean, our whole deal is to get the best 5 on the field. You know, that's what it's all about. Find the best 5 guys And once we got that solidified, then you got some guys that got to cross-train. You know, Norton's got to be able to play center and guard. Guillermo's got to be able to play center and guard. Guillermo will be a little bit further along mentally this year, and I think he'll be more prepared to have his hand a little bit more in both. But both of them have to be they got to be really good centers for us. So, but if one of those guys is better than somebody else in that top 5, then you make that move. But it's not something we're going to know today.
How much did your recruiting for the NFL affect the numbers in this recruiting class, and how many do you expect to sign?
Not going to really affect the numbers very much. We were kind of counting on a little attrition, to be honest with you. We only had 10 scholarship seniors, and we were kind of counting for 4 or 5 spots of attrition to help us out. And then we've got some gray shirt guys that we've got the ability to manage this class with, guys that we really like, guys that we think fit our program, that maybe won't have a chance to come in August depending on what happens, but will certainly be here by next January.